Appreciate that. I want to thank God and give all the glory to Him. And I want to thank all the kind words you had to say for me. You know, I wasn't expecting this award, and I thought when we playing ball at college, so glad to be here, and I'm glad you had nothing but positive things to say. I love y'all. Thank you.
And now I'd like to welcome to the stage Coach Tina Haga with women's softball.
Good evening. Could I have the ladies softball team up front, please? I'd like to introduce our team. Seniors first, Dana Dean, Brooklyn Lemons, and Desiree Yandel. Juniors, Kristen Hall, Christina Insua, and Sydney Nelson. Sophomores, Constance Baker, Cheyenne Buis, Chandler Girk, Paige Huffman, Mandy Jaquez, Tara Kemp, Nicole Martin, the backbone of our team, Kayla Vahopoulos, and Ashley Westgarth. Freshmen, Morgan Hildebrand, Crystal Jordan, Casey Krause, and Cheyenne Reynolds. When we started in the fall, we decided that we weren't really going to be too concerned with wins and losses as long as we were competing against our opponents, and that's what we did. We finished the season 8-33, 5-12 in conference. That's not real impressive, but what is impressive is how we competed against every opponent. Opponents that basically blew us out in years past, we lost by 1 or 2 runs. So I consider that an accomplishment. They really came together, and I'm very proud of them. I'd like to, at this time, acknowledge all conference awards. Second team goes to Christina Insua for pitcher. Sydney Nelson for catcher. Kristen Hall for utility player. Honorable mention awards, Dana Dean, Brooklyn Lemons, Ashley Westgarth, and Casey Krause. I would just like to say one final thank you to my wonderful manager, Paige Huffman. I would not have been able to do anything without her. And also one final thank you to my student assistant, Jose Sanchez. Thank you for everything, Jose. Thank you, ladies.
All right, baseball guys, line up. I'm surprised you guys knew where chapel was, because we don't come very often. All right, we'll start with the list of our guys. We'll start with the shortest first, Michael Barnhart Jr., Felix Cruz Orjeda, Zane Howard, which is not here tonight, Clayton Kramer, Justin Bennett, Hector Rivera, Taylor Bauman, Cody Morton, Chance Carney, Christian Herbig, Brian Mariquin, Keaton Snyder, Caleb Gorman, Sean Day, Austin Penn, Lee Stoops, Chase Dean, Ian Escherman, Taylor Nissen, Tyrell Rowling, Stephen Bedeker, John Peralta, Douglas Gove, Ronaldo Eschnike, Spencer Balmer Logan. I think he's working Sonic right now. That's why he's not here. Andrew Hightower, also heard as a great golfer. Jake Heron, Cameron Bonds, Jaime Gutierrez, Nathaniel Kitsiliboy, Laramie Lumley, Brent Robinson, Alan Barker, Scotty Kelton, Larry Jackson, Deontay Lusk, which is not here tonight either, and then Reggie Thomas. Obviously, we stat-wise didn't have a great year, and obviously we just finished, so our guys know how it was. But I do like to say, as a young team overall, we probably played one of the toughest schedules in the country. We played the number 4 team in the nation 4 times, almost beat them in extra innings. But to have a young team and play such a tough schedule, 3 teams in our conference made regional tournaments. It's definitely been a learning experience as a first-year head coach to have this group of guys to really get that under the way. It's been great. So it's a great honor to honor you guys tonight, and thank you for everything you've done.
It is my honor to present to you the Scholar Athletes for this year. As many of you know, not only am I a big fan of athletics, but I'm also the academic dean. And if you didn't know that, that might explain why you're not getting one of those awards tonight. It is no small feat to be a successful athlete and to be a good student at the same time. Truth be told, some athletes find it very difficult to perform well in their sport and in the classroom. I mean, think about it. In order to be a good student athlete, you have to be a good athlete, but you also have to be able to do things like attend class, turn in assignments, spell your name correctly, which means Lee Stoops will not be receiving one of these awards this evening. Seriously though, folks, these people are juniors and seniors who've been able to maintain a 3.5 GPA while maintaining an active commitment to their team. So the house lights are going to come up here in just a moment. As I call your name, if you just stand so that we can all recognize the number of student athletes that we have. And these, again, are Scholar Athletes. So Ray Anderson, Constance Baker. I'm going to read the whole list here, folks. Brittany Bergstrom, Josh Black, Stephen Bodecker, Caitlin Korn, Hannah Crandall, Amanda Curtis, Sammy Dahl, Sean Day, Savannah Fairchild, Ashlyn Garza, Chandler Girk, Emmy Gross, Sierra Hess, Morgan Hildebrand, Larry Jackson, Matt Jackson, Mandy Jocks, Tara Kemp, Casey Kraus, Brooklyn Lemons, Catherine Lott, Nicole Martin, Haley McMath, Sydney Nelson, Josh Payne, Austin Penn, Chris Quincy, Libby Regier, Cheyenne Reynolds, Stephen Reimer, Brooke Roberts, Dustin Rojas, Brady Sherman, Mayuko Shono, Twyla Smedley, Byron Stinson, Raven Void, Ashley Westgarth, and Stevie Penn, sorry. Let's hear it for all these Scholar Athletes, folks. Great job. You may have a seat. I'd also like to call your attention to 2 special people, if I can have Dustin Rojas and Raven Void meet me here on stage. These 2 individuals were recognized by the MCAC as the MCAC Student Athletes of the Year. Both were top scholars for the entire conference. Now, folks, again, this is the entire conference in their respective sports, the highest scholar athletes in each of their sports. So let's give it up for Raven and for Dustin.
Again, congratulations to Dustin and Raven. That's a big deal. MCAC Scholar Athlete of the Year for men's and women's basketball for them. I don't think they knew I was going to do this, but I'd actually like to have all of the head coaches, men and women, come and stand up front. They like to come up here and obviously be behind the microphone and the podium and tell you guys how well their players did. They're pretty good at deflecting praise to you guys, which is awesome. But we want to recognize a Central Christian College Coach of the Year this year. At the very beginning of the year when we got started, we looked at 1 Corinthians chapter 9. And there's a lot going on in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, but we took a few verses out of there and tried to look at that as an athletics department to help shape what we wanted to become and what we wanted Central to stand for in their athletics department. And there's two key areas there that we see in 1 Corinthians chapter 9. It's Paul speaking there. And verse 19 he starts, "For though I am free from all, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win more of them." Down in verse 23, "I do it all for the sake of the gospel, that I may share with them in its blessings." And then he goes on to a pretty familiar passage most athletes can relate to. Verse 24, he starts, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it." And we talked about both of those aspects this year. We wanted to become everything for everyone, to be a servant to you guys, to you student athletes, to the parents, to the staff, the faculty, so that we could share the gospel with you, so we could share in the gospel with you, to grow. Every one of these men and women up here would tell you that they are by far not perfect. But they do, I believe each of them has a desire to grow closer to the Lord. Everybody's in a different spot in their journey, in their walks, but we want to encourage them in that. We want to help them in that, and then in turn, that relates to you guys, I hope, in a positive way. And so we took a look at that I may share with them in its blessings. But also, we talked about the idea of, we know that all the runners run, but only one receives a prize. In today's society, wins and losses dictate successful programs for the most part. And we do want to be successful in that category. We're making strides, whether it's 1 million bacteria or, however else that 0.1% is portrayed. We are very conscious of our wins and loss records. We do want to be excellent on the court, on the field, on the course as well. And I think that you have, at this level, at this collegiate level, I think you have an excellent coaching staff to take you to that level of playing abilities and to help hone your abilities and to make you guys better athletes, but also better men and women. So I want to take a minute and just recognize them and have everybody clap for them because they do a great job. So for the 2014-2015 academic year, now each program has come up, they've all given you stats, so I won't redo stats and anything like that, but I'll ask this person to go ahead and come up here, accept this award, and give another little speech, and the rest of you guys can have a seat. I appreciate your everything that you do here at Central. Looks like 2014-2015 Coach of the Year. He's done a great job this year, not only leading the few, but also keeping this team together in a way that they rallied around each other. It wasn't a drudgery to show up to a game. Like he said, they finished on a 3-game winning streak, 2-4 in the conference. Coach Scott Fogarty, Coach of the Year.
Thank you. Unexpected. But again, I had a fun year, but really, it's my players I do this for. I love coaching them every single day, even the rough days during practice, the rough games, and we certainly had some of those. I still woke up the next day and wanted to come back and coach them. So, thank you.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Cool. Hi. I got my glasses on because I'm going off script because I owe you guys a few things here. Just kidding. It's all good. So I'm Hal. This is Kathy Hoxie. We are here we have the honor of naming the male and female athletes of the year. So before I go there, though, I want to say something to this group because I had a few run-ins with some of the players this year. And I kind of want to go over those. But before we go there, I want to say thanks to you guys, all right? You know what? We are getting better. And I heard Tina talk about winning wasn't the only thing, and she's right. But do you know that I can show you on paper that we got better this year. Our winning percentage from last year improved 0.1%. That's good. That's improvement. And you know if you're coaching, and you know if you're at this level and you get just a little bit better the next day, it's worth it, isn't it? That's right. I saw that in you guys' hearts this year. So I want to say I've noticed passion in all of you. And man, that means something. Because if you take that passion with you out of here and live that way, you're going to make a difference in the world. Don't forget. Live that passion, love that passion, be that way. Tina, I'm going to miss you. That team changed 1,000,000%. Ladies, I showed up on a road trip, and thankfully you didn't see me, but you lost a heartbreaker, and you were frustrated, and the mitts ended up in the dugout, and you shook every hand of the opponent. You stood there, and you took it, and you showed respect. That's class. I'm sure you won with class. I wish I would have been there. I missed a lot of games. But I know that you lost that game with class, and you represented Central. It was awesome. I saw a player change in 3 years. And I'm not going to dime her out tonight because her and I ended up in my office with all sorts of trouble. And she was in tears because I challenged her word, and she felt like she'd lost trust. And she came back here. And you know who you are. I trust you. I know you're going to go out in this world because I watched you live with passion, and I watched you make a difference this year, so good job. I got sideways with some basketball, or with some soccer players. Some Evo, Emmy, and another guy. That's right. You guys remember? Yeah. But you know what? I want to say something to you guys that are here tonight. I know 2 of you guys are here. You show passion. Okay, you can't go beat up the other player when he's an idiot. I get that. But that passion, played the right way as hard as you can does make a difference. And that excites me, and I want to go watch the games because of that. So keep that. Don't lose it. Now, don't beat up some kid next year because I'll have to beat you up back. You had to be there. It was fun. Anyway, I got sideways with the baseball coaches. I was angry with them. And I let it be known through the athletic department, doggone it, fellas, step up your game. And I got a letter about a week later from a mom in Wichita. Now, guys, and gals, I don't get great letters from parents. But this was a stranger to our program who just wanted to tell me I was rushing my 2 kids into Chipotle, the coolest restaurant on the planet. We all agree. And the baseball team was there, all, 440 of them. Gentlemen, showing that lady respect and letting those kids go to the front of that line and just smiling, Whoa. That's what we represent. That's what we do this for. That honored our Lord and Savior. And you spoke nothing. You just smiled. So, coaches, you're off the hook. Just kidding. Good job. Okay. Sorry, I had to give my speech because I want to. Now back to script. It's time to name the male athlete of the year. Central's award is named after Howard J. Krober and the Krober family, a longtime supporter of Central Christian College and the athletic program. The male nominees, as you saw on the screen, were Alonzo Stafford. And then I've watched everybody butcher Ezekiel's name tonight, so Zeke, too. And the third nominee was Doug Gove. Okay. You know, when I won this award back in the day, they didn't do anything cool like this, so you keep doing this. This is kind of fun. I had to throw that in there. This year's male athlete of the year is Alonzo Stafford. Alonzo. He's coming.
First off, I want to thank the man upstairs for everything, for blessing me with his talent to be able to play basketball. Second of all, I want to thank my teammates. Man, without y'all, I wouldn't have got this award, man. I want to thank everybody. Like, shout out Daniel, Mike, Sam, Lil B, Haynes, Kurt, everybody, Chris, everybody, man. This is for y'all, man. It's not just for me, this is for y'all. And third of all, I want to thank Coach T, man. Without him, man, I wouldn't be at this school. He gave me a shot in the dark, and I took it and I ran with it. So this for y'all, man. Thank you.
Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch.
Okay, I am going to stay on script because it's going on 9 o'clock. Anyway, I'm honored to present this year's Female Athlete of the Year award. Central's award is named after Claudine Farrell. Claudine was an alum of Central College back in the 40s, and she married John Farrell, who was also a student at Central. John is our archivist. You may know who he is. And in the 1950s and 60s, she began teaching physical education and pioneered coaching women's athletics at Central. You might want to say she was the mother of women's varsity sports here at Central Christian. She's also the mother of our own Dave Farrell. This year's nominees are Mayuko Shono, Hannah Crandall, Kwamisha Spence, and Sydney Nelson. This year's award goes to Sydney Nelson.
wanted to thank Oscar, of course, for being at every 4-hour doubleheader that we had, rain or shine. My parents, of course, who were my biggest supporters. My mom, who knew the game before I even called her because she was online searching everywhere for it. Coach Tina and Coach Jose, you guys really pushed us and you really changed this program, and I'm grateful for that. And of course, the teammates, you know, this wouldn't be possible without you guys, so I really appreciate that. And Haley McMath, because she let me borrow this dress.